Hello friends, today I'm going to solve LeetCode problem number 424, longest repeating character replacement. So here we are given a string s which consists of uppercase English characters and an integer k, and we are allowed to change any character of the string to another character, and the maximum number of times we could perform this operation is k. And while performing this operation, our goal is to return the length of the longest substring that contains the same letter. So for example, here we have this is string, and our value of k is equals to 2 in this case, which means that I can change maximum of 2 characters from this string to get the longest substring which has the same characters. So what characters do you think we need to change in order to get the longest substring? Well, of course, so we have an a here and then we have a b. So if I change this b to an a, then I'll get an a, which we already have an a, and then an a in the third position, right? And then I have a b here. Now right now I already changed a, so now the possible the number of operations that I could perform is now changed to 1, so I can only change one character now. So if I change b to a here, then the total number of the length here becomes equals to 4, the length of the longest substring, because now I have a and an a, so my length is equals to 4. So this becomes my answer here. Now in this case, in case of this string, my value of k is equals to 1, which means that I can only change one character from this whole string, and the resulting I should return the longest substring. So I have a 2a here, so I'm looking for something which would make this string the substring longest, right? So I have 2 a's here and a here, so intuitively we would change this b to a, right? And this will give me a character substring of length 4 with the same characters. Now what if in case I didn't change this b, because I have a b and I have 2 b's here, right? So I could still change this a to b and I'll still get length 4, right? So here also I got length 4, here also I got length 4. And one more thing is that I could still perform this operation in a different way. That is, if I change this b here, now the maximum length of the substring right now is only equals to 3. So this is not the operation that we want to perform at this index. We want to perform the operation such that we get the longest substring with the same characters, which is here in this case is by replacing this character by a or by replacing a by b. So now that we know what our results should be, how can we actually perform these in an actual like coding? So how could we actually solve this? We could solve this by using sliding window operation. So we will be starting with the sliding window of length 1. So basically I will choose a left pointer and a right pointer, and both of them will initially be pointing at index 0. So this my left pointer and right pointer, both of them are here currently. And then the frequency, because as you could see here, we also kept in mind the frequency, right? At when we used this window of length 4, since the frequency of a here was equals to 4, we choose chose not to change A but to change B, right? So that is what we are gonna do. We are gonna keep track of the frequency of the characters within the window. So right now my window is of length 1, so I'll keep track of the frequency of the character within the window, which is A, which is equals to 1. And since the length of my string and the frequency is equal, I actually do not need to change anything here. Now when I increase my window size, now I have A and another character which is B. Both of them have a frequency 1 and 1, and here my right pointer is pointing here. So which character should I change to get, is this the longest substring so far? With same characters? No, the longest substring would be if both of them were of same characters, right? So I could pick any one of those because both of them have the same frequency. So I change one of these, and then at that point my maximum length would be, then if I change B to A, then my maximum length will be my length will be equals to 2, right? 2 here in this case. And then again, actually not actually changing but keeping in mind the change, now again I increase my slider here. Here the frequency of A is equals to 2 now, and B is still equals to 1. And how many changes can I make within these windows, where I can make 2 changes, right? And since B has the least frequency, A has the maximum frequency, so I won't be changing A, but I will be changing all the other characters within this window. So the only one character within this window is B, which has a frequency of 1. And I'm able to change character B to 1 because K is equals to 2 and the frequency of B is 1, which is less than 2. So I'm allowed to change. In this case, the maximum length is equals to 3 here. Now again, I increment my counter. So now I expand my slider. Now my slider is of length 4, and then here the length of B is equals to 2. And since both of them have the same frequency, I can choose to change one of them. So I choose to change B, and the character the number of changes in B that I need to make is equals to 2, which is equals to K, right? So since both of them are still equal, that is I could perform the changes, these 2 changes, change them to A, and then I'll get my maximum length. So this will be the answer, that is equals to 4. So I'll return the length of the maximum the maximum length of the substring with the same characters here. Now let's see in this case here how could we solve for this string, which is same. So I start from my first index, left and right. So my sliding window is of length 0, and now right now my maximum length is equals to 0. Now when I am at this point, this is the maximum, so far the maximum length of the substring, right? So this value becomes equals to 1. Now then I increment my sliding window, expand my sliding window, which consists of 2 characters. Both of them are same characters, so both of them are A, which is a frequency of 2. I do not need to change anything because they are the same. So now the length is equals to 2. Now I again increment my sliding window. Now it consists of B. B has a frequency of 1, so 2 is here the max with the maximum number of frequency, right? So I choose to change B, And since b, the number of changes that I need to make for b is equals to 1, which is less than or equals to the value of k, so that is possible. So I increment my counter again. Now I encounter a, and then the frequency of a is equals to 3, which is again the maximum. So I again change. I can still within this window I'm still able to make one changes. So next time I increment my sliding window, expand my sliding window. Now the frequency of b is equals to 2, the frequency of a is still equals to 3, and b equals to 2, and we have the value of k equals to 1, right? But here, in order to make all of the characters in this window same, I need to change either one of these, right? And the best choice is to change the one with the least frequencies. So when I choose to change b, there are two characters for b. The frequency of b is 2, which is actually greater than k, so I cannot actually make these changes. So now what I do is I slide my window. So now my window becomes a b a b b. So my so here in this case, my left pointer was here and my right pointer was here, but now my window has slided, and now my left pointer is here and my right pointer is here. So this becomes my new window, and here the frequency of a is equals to 2 and frequency of b is equals to 3. So now I choose to change a, but then again the frequency of a is equals to 2, which is greater than k, which is, so I'm not allowed, that's not possible. So I then again slide my window. So now my next window is from here to here, so this becomes my new window, and again I choose the frequency of b is 3 and a is 2, and still here I could not make any changes, right? So what will my resulting answer be? My resulting answer will actually be right minus left, the right pointer minus the left pointer, because when we found the maximum length, that was when that was at this point, right? And then we incremented our we expanded our sliding window by 1, and that was when our frequency, when we were not able to make any more changes to the window, so we just kept sliding. We didn't increment, but we just kept sliding our window. So so this will be our answer here. Now let's dive into the code. So what we need to do is we need a sliding window. So we need a left pointer and a right pointer, both initially pointing to 0, and then we need a frequency mapper, right? So I'm going to use here a dictionary. And now for the length, we are gonna start not for I, so we are gonna start from right equals to 0, right is less than as dot length, and right plus plus, because what we are doing here is every time I am expanding my window, right, which is that I'm incrementing the value of my right pointer each time. I'm only incrementing my value of left pointer when I am not able to make changes, when the value of k is less than the number of changes that I should make in the substring in the window to make it the longest substring. So I am always incrementing r. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm always incrementing r starting from 0. I always increment r, but I'm only doing it after performing some operations. So since now my left and right pointer is here, I also need some to add these to my dictionary, add all the characters within the window to my dictionary, the frequency of these characters. So right now my frequency, so this will be r, which it'll be equals to, so the frequency would be +1 if it already exists, if not only 1. And then I check for the value of k. Okay, so I checked for the value of k. If okay, so I also need the maximum count, because I'm only changing those values which are different from the max count. I won't be changing the max count at all, only those characters which are different. So max, let max count equals to 0, and then max count equals to math dot max count, oops, count, or the value of this dictionary. And then if the length which is left minus right plus minus right minus left plus 1 minus the max count, which gives the number of characters that we need to change in this string, if this is greater than k, which is the maximum number of characters we could change in the string, then we are gonna increment our left pointer. But also here again, while incrementing our left pointer, we also need to we are actually removing an element from our sliding window, right? So we also need to update our dictionary, because we only keep the frequency of those characters which are in the sliding window. So now dictionary, I'm gonna update my dictionary, and this will be reduced by 1, and then finally return right minus left. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a left pointer and right pointer for my sliding window, and we start from 0 index, and then we keep on increasing the expanding the sliding window. And while we are expanding, we are performing all these operations, we keep track of the frequency within the sliding window, frequency of all the characters, and then every time we calculate this maximum count. So the max count is the number of frequencies of the characters which have the maximum number of frequency within the sliding window. So if that character has the maximum number of frequency, which means that we are not changing that character, we are changing all the other characters within that window, and this is the number of characters that we need to change. So this is actually the length of the sliding window, and we are subtracting the characters which we do not want to change. So length minus the characters we do not need to change equals to the characters we need to change, and if this is greater than the characters we can change, then actually what are we doing is we are we are sliding our window. So we are actually removing the left, removing a character from our left. And when we are removing, we need to update the frequency. So we are reducing the frequency by 1, and then changing the left pointer. And then while sliding, we change the left pointer, we also change the right pointer, and the maximum will be the right minus left, because since we are here aiming to return length of the longest substring, so we choose only to increase the window, so that once we have found the max, we always are looking for a window if greater than the max value. And this will give us the window. Let's run our code and see the result. Okay, so something is wrong here, and what is that? Okay, so what I did here is I defined another r here, which is not, because of which the value of r here I'm getting is always equals to 0. So that is what is giving me problem. Great, so I have let's submit this code now. So the time complexity of this function is, since we are going through for loop once across through all the length to all the characters of the string, so the time complexity is O of n. And then talking about the space complexity, we are using a dictionary, so the space complexity is also O of n. Hope this solution was helpful. Thank you.